you haven't ever joined us before for a watch party, every week we watch 2 episodes of a show. Right now we're watching Kids on the Slope episodes 3 and 4. But yeah, I hope you join us for the watch party. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's a really good show.
Oh, okay. Oh, we can cry after this. I'll go. I didn't know Kids on the Slope. Okay, well, just stop now if you haven't watched Kids on the Slope episodes 3 and 4. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it took place in the 60s.
It was
Same.
so important. Like, I saw that note and I was just like, everything makes so much more sense now because it definitely does not look like it's modern day.
I don't know why I didn't realize it during the first 2 episodes. I was like, this explains why they're so into jazz. Like,
Yeah, you can be into jazz. And
anyone could be into jazz, but like the fact that there's a bunch of people in their super small town who are all into it, because it was one of those like import things. Japan was not super, like there was no westernization before World War II, and so this is more recent or more close to the end of World War II, but like far enough away that it's not the direct aftermath of World War II. The reason I looked, because I didn't see the note, didn't see anything. I just heard like, oh, it's where the American soldiers go. And I was like, American soldiers? What? What year is it? So,
It could have been on Okinawa. I mean, we have a base there.
Even then,
Yeah.
it didn't hit me.
Really?
None of it did, honestly.
Until when?
Until you told me.
I think like episode 4 was the big tell.
Oh, yeah, even then I didn't for some reason. I was just like, this guy's an ass. Yeah, if you watch episode 4.
Oh, a donkey, you say?
Yeah, donkey.
Yes.
He was a
one
donkey.
of the coolest animals in Shrek, the movie.
That's what I was thinking when we talked about it.
I was like, what's this guy problem? Jeez.
They
God.
did.
But anyway.
But
Yeah.
finding that out made me love the show even more. This is a show that grabbed me immediately. And I just love having, historical fiction be really relatable to the point where I didn't even realize it wasn't modern.
Yep.
Sure.
Because, like, you know how a lot of modern things are like, let me take out my cellular phone.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
I have apps. Like, I like that it was, like, I just thought, oh, this is a subtle show that's not throwing phones in my face. I'm an idiot. It's in the 60s.
Yeah, I was like, they were taking the train, like, oh, there's trains in Japan,
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know.
It's old
Now I'm
bus.
like trying to remember like what the cars were.
So, I mean, like, I
don't
was
remember seeing
thinking that it was because it was in the country.
Me too.
Like, they're in
Yeah.
the countryside, and they're kind of, like, toning, like,
Yeah.
oh, the rich boys coming from the city. And I was like, oh, so, like, their stuff is just old. I was like, oh, it's just in an older time. Makes
I'm gonna be like just looking at every aspect of the show now. I was like, okay, what's
I mean, just even their fashion. Like, you can tell it's not
Yeah.
modern. Like, not
Yeah.
that we get to see them much outside of their school uniforms,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
you know. It's
But
pretty
they
cool.
still have
Polo
conservative,
shirt.
like,
It is
school
vintage.
uniforms. Like, in Amanchu, they're wearing these, like, Victorian dresses to school. So that's what I was figuring. I was like, well, maybe they just have a very preppy school they go to, and they have to dress very conservatively.
Yeah.
So the point is, we learned that it was the 60s this episode. I did not expect it to be as romantic as it was.
yeah.
I'm so excited about this watch party because this is the first show we've watched that I haven't seen anything of or really know too much about. And yeah, I was totally surprised by that and just about how lively it is. Like, even jazz parts aside, like, everything just feels like full of life and really energetic and real.
Yeah.
I think maybe the animation helps to that a lot too, just because it is a very different style and it feels like a little bit more realistic than some of like the bigger, like, colorful anime we see right now, moe and stuff.
Yeah, it's very grounded. And part of that is the setting, and part of that is the characters, and they
Yes.
behave in realistic ways. And we see that with the sort of like love pentagram that's emerging.
Seriously. I was like, whoa, what?
What's going on?
There's a lot going on where people are like, wow, he's hot. Oh, but she's hot.
like-
but
like,
I think he's hot.
right?
And I was like, okay,
did you
y'all need
invite
to pick somebody and just be a couple already. Because,
For real.
but, oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll get to that.
So
We'll
let's
get
start with episode 3.
to- we'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Neto del Toro came through again, which is awesome. So it looks like the waters they swam in episode 2 had the magic ability to cure introversion, because the Kaoru we get in these next 2 episodes is the complete opposite of the one we knew. Now we get a sassy, don't know how to pronounce this,
Sereno?
Sereno-esque version of the nerd we used to know, which nevertheless still wasn't able to figure out how Ritsuko felt before it was too late. It took a nasty scratch in the arm. It took a nasty scratch in the arm and a sudden aversion to climbing mystic eternal love rocks to lift the veil from his bespeckled face. I like that description.
Really quick, I sort of disagree. I thought he was very brilliant for having figured it out because I like dumb guys.
I think also like there's a lot of time that passes because we go from summer to the end of summer.
Yeah.
Wait.
So
I think
because
my
next episode's
standards,
at Christmas.
I think my standards for that are just incredibly low.
Oh my
Continue
God.
with
yeah,
Neta del
the
Sol.
time in this is like this show moves very quickly.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
didn't
wasting
even-
very
time.
snappy.
Yeah, but
Exams.
Yes.
man, I'm
Now that
just
I think
out of
about
this.
now that I think
Yeah.
about it, he's an idiot. But for the people, the guys I surround myself with, that's incredible that he figured it out.
All right, next thing we know, it's devolved counter time once more and a quick trip to the therapy roof, and all because of the handkerchief of doom. I like that. But it worked because the boldest of nerds came back with a bang, and by channeling his inner Bill Evans in the form of private concert for Lee-chan, he was able to communicate all his adolescent brain could not, and so the promise that someday her prince would come was not just a promise anymore.
Oh, that was cute.
But she does not want him.
That's the sad thing.
that
That's the
sucked.
sad thing
Ooh.
is he's not trying to comfort her, and he said like
He's just pursuing her.
he says
Yes.
that internally. He doesn't say that to her. 'Cause she's like, "Oh, thanks for trying to comfort me," and he's like, that's not what
He's
I'm
like,
saying."
"No."
But like, it seems like she sort of takes it that way, and then it becomes uncomfortable because she doesn't feel the same way.
She has her eyes somewhere else.
I know, and I was
he
like-
knows.
I was like, "This is so tragic."
You just played piano for you.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was very sweet of her. Like, it was just adorable how she's like, "It's because you like what's her face," and he's like, "Damn it, like,
Yeah.
get it together, girl, figure it out."
Yeah, she also needs to be a little bit more like
In
Yeah.
tune.
yeah, looking at what's happening around her. It's like, come on.
Yeah, like, he didn't even talk to her? What do you think? Whatever.
Everyone's misinterpreting everything, and it's just like,
Yeah,
somebody say something,
that's-
somebody clear the air.
But I like that because that's very realistic for teenagers.
Oh yeah.
And like, it's frustrating to watch because I'm like, you could solve this all with a chat. Like,
Yeah.
Because like when they're on the roof and he's like mad at Sentaro
Sentaro? Yeah.
because he's mad because like she likes you and you don't appreciate it because you like somebody else and you're hurting her. And I'm like, that's not fair. But you're 16 or whatever, so
Sure.
But you could literally just say like, "Sorry, dude, I'm totally overreacting because I have a crush on her and like she clearly likes you." You could have a cool like bro heart to heart and like talk
Yeah.
to the pigeon maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked
Sarah.
that Hatoful
Yeah.
boyfriend happened in this episode.
That was
Yeah.
kind of amazing.
Yeah.
What was its name?
Sarah.
Sarah Vaughn?
Sarah
Sarah
Vaughn.
I had
Yeah.
like a last name to go with its first
like,
name. I was like, what?
Dang.
There must be something there.
Like
It has to be a
Sarah might
story.
have some wisdom to share with you.
Yeah.
So, but I love that about it. Anyway, episode
No.
4.
Yeah, also when Sentaro's in the art room.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
yeah.
I was like, oh hey.
It's like, whoa.
So that became even more scandalous when I realized it was the 60s. Because I was like, you guys can't be having time in the art room in the
And
back
he
of the
was,
art
it's weird because he
That's
was
a lot
the
to
one
ask.
like naked and she was still just like standing there. But of course it was them doing art or whatever. But you know.
But-
That's what the kids call it back then.
Hey, we were doing art. Yeah, so I realized why Kaoru reacted the way he did because that's even more scandalous. I liked
Yeah.
how he was like, "So your relationship is already there," and so judgmental about it. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, wow."
He had to look lovingly at the stick. I don't know, or whatever.
Look
I was like,
lovingly at the stick. That's a
He's naked. That's so weird.
Oh.
That sounds
Anyway.
like the kind of thing you'd make up if someone overheard you.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, yeah." And they were like, "I heard you say look lovingly at the stick." And he's like, "Oh, no, it's because she was drawing me, see, and I had a stick in my hand. And I was, she wanted a cool, yeah." Like,
She wanted to draw my...
yeah.
Never mind.
So, that,
No, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 4 was. I'm really sad because
Moving
I
on.
need to finish episode 4 because I had to work.
That's
Because
okay.
yeah, I was just like, oh no.
It was,
Um,
it was
Ooh,
very
episode 4.
emotional.
Yeah, and this is the part when I did notice that this was not modern. I was just like,
It's, yeah, it's, I mean, Also because of his story where his mom basically had an affair with an American soldier, which makes sense because he's about to be 16. If it is indeed 1966, he would have been stationed there in 1950. So, yeah. So I thought that was really interesting, and it's a story that is probably more common than you would think, but not very common in anime, of just being like a mixed-raced kid in Japan and being bullied for that, and that was really emotional.
It was. I felt so bad for Centaur. His mom leaves him. His grandmother basically wants nothing to do with him. Then his grandmother kills over on him, and then his father kind of pushes him away.
So
that's a garbage way to start your life.
Question mark. What was that? His father, or was that his uncle who was?
Oh, I'm sorry.
being
I
his
said
father?
father,
Well,
and
no,
then I guess
he says father. He's like, oh, and my father got a job, and he became a drunk. And I was like, you mean your American father, or like the guy who raised you?
And the guy who raised him.
Yeah,
Like
I
his
think the guy
uncle, right?
raised him because the American dad wouldn't be there, and then his mom
Yeah.
left because that's why the grandmother was like burning her stuff. She's like, you
And
dumped
then-
your kid off on me after having an affair,
Right.
and then
So then, but he says whatever the mom, like Sentaro's mom's name is, he calls her Nechan. So like that's the uncle. I actually rewatched the sequence because I wanted to get his family like straight in my
Right.
mind. But so his uncle remarries presumably, and that's who he calls mom, and his siblings are his cousins. I
I
think.
think that's about right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I had trouble figuring it out.
To look back at it.
Yeah.
So Brett Stockmeyer says we also get to learn more about Sentaro and the heartbreaking story of how he isn't an outsider just for being a bully. Yeah. But that he was discriminated against his entire life because of his blood. The performance comes and goes, and it's possible we're getting hints that there's more to Eureka than just being a rich Ojo-sama.
Oh yeah.
Is she rich? Like
I mean,
didn't-
she is such an Ojo-sama.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah.
I don't know if she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be rich. It seems like she's hiding something.
Yeah.
I really like this comment from Tyler DeBoer. Tyler says, this show has some of the better English I've heard in anime. It's still got that English, but it's not as bad as others. Last note, it snowed and no one did any skiing on the slope. Shame on you.
I know, right?
So I liked both parts of that comment. The first was I was very impressed by, because a lot of times when someone's supposed to be speaking English, if there's like a Westerner in an anime, it just like sounds really funny and like kind of like boorish. I mean, obviously this guy is supposed to sound awful because he's saying some racist stuff, real racist stuff. That was very, I was like shocked to hear it. Not like, oh my god, how did they put this in an anime? But I was like, oh wow, that's so real. Of course they're being heckled for playing jazz.
right.
Oh, yeah.
And the English was done really well, and I love that Kaoru is the smart one who's like translating it in real time because he's the only one who speaks English. And then also, they should have gone skiing.
That's true. Yeah, interesting fact about that. I looked it up, and Junichi Suabe, who does the voice for Brother Jun, he did not sing that section. It was Furukawa Masayoshi, who's he did vocals for that song, who's worked with Yoko Kanno. She was the composer for the series and worked on Ghost in the Shell and Cowboy Bebop, which is super cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun fact, Mike.
I know.
Nice.
No, I had to look because I was like, did he really speak? Because then the way he was talking was fine, but the singing was just like top notch. I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm like, Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, it was. I was super surprised by that performance.
That's so cool.
Yep. Hey.
Yeah.
The more you
Cool.
know.
I'm really enjoying it. I hope
yeah,
everyone else is too.
Yeah, that last scene where Brother June, Brother June is what, like 20 something maybe? He can't be in his teens, right?
I don't know, but I love him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's cool. He's suave.
He's like,
Yeah.
real
I like him.
It's Mr. Suave. Yeah,
Like a
with his
little
trumpet.
beatnik.
I know, right? Oh,
Okay, so
God.
there was one scene, I forget if it was in 3 or the previous episode, but there's one point when Sentaro is whispering, but they're playing music. I'm like, that doesn't work. That's not how music works.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, just one thing that bothered me. That is dumb.
So-
Trumpets are very loud.
Trumpets? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Playing quiet.
That did bother me a little bit because they're in that basement room, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how are they not all deaf? He's playing the trumpet full blast.
And it doesn't have a mute or anything.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't have a mute.
fair.
That and drum set. I don't know. It's
I did think about that a lot. About
I mean, there was a curtain who's
It
kind
could
of
be a
like,
little bit bigger.
you
than
know,
like a sound.
I don't know. Playing in a small room with Trump is not the worst thing in the world.
yeah.
I have an ex who used to play trumpet, and he'd play in his room and stuff. It's fine. It is loud though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sure,
But you
sure.
can't whisper below that.
But people
Anyway.
go to rock concerts and get their eardrums blasted out, and they don't care. It's all part of the vibrations and the feels, man.
My brother plays the drums, so over Thanksgiving, I'd forgotten. Like, I didn't know if he had his drum set in his apartment because he's in college now. But I just hear banging, and I'm like, I called up to his room. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, Kelly, I'm playing the drums. He doesn't sound like that.
I was gonna say your brother's a dude, bro.
So that's why no, but that's why that scene I was like, are they okay? Also, Brother June might be cool and suave and handsome, but he has his eyes on Eureka, and she's definitely in high school. So
Well, I mean, it's the '60s, I guess.
60s man.
Yeah. People got
Free
married
love.
right out of high school or even in high school at the
Yeah.
time, so
Yeah.
it's not totally out of
If
bounds.
you'll remember, in the 90s, Usagi was in middle school and
Oh,
Mamoru
that's
was in
right.
college.
Oh yeah.
And no one said anything.
Didn't realize until I was older.
Can you imagine talking to a 13-year-old and being like, yes, this
She's
is
14.
a person. Okay, 14-year-old.
I mean,
And
okay.
being like, yeah, this is a person I want to be involved with as a partner
Yeah.
in life.
No, Nephilim, I think, was older than Mamoru and picked up Molly in a Lamborghini way back in the day.
He may have been leaving high school, but
still.
there is a significant age difference to where the time frame, like, you can date someone eventually who's like, you're in college and then they're like way older than you or
Sure.
something.
Yeah.
Or,
But
then
like,
you're an
later in life,
adult.
It's fine.
You can
But yeah,
make
but
your
when you're
adult
like
decisions.
kids, it's like, you're a
The
baby.
further you get into your adult life, the shorter that gap feels, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, once I got out of college, I was like 6 years older, so whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah. Ugh.
I just like, it's like, it's because you're at similar places in your lives. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I guess that's what we got for 3 and 4.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to watch more.
That's
Ugh,
it.
It's so hard not to like go
skip ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but-
I would say next week we'll be watching episodes 5 and 6, but that's not true because we're not going to be here next week.
Right.
We are on break and in the next week after. So instead, we will be returning in January to watch. Do you guys want to do 4 or 6 episodes? 4? We'll do 4 episodes.
4 feels manageable.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to talk about 6 episodes.
Okay. We're going to do 4 episodes in January. So join us then for that next watch party. It's going to be a little bit, but you guys can do it. Just
Yeah.
pace yourselves.
Yeah. If not, watch Sound Euphonium in the meantime.
That's
Just
true.
Yeah.
Or Beck.
kinda
Beck
the
is a
same.
really good musical anime as well.
Some more music stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that with that, we are also going to have one episode over the break, so you guys won't be completely without us. We have a My Hero Academia spoiler cast going up with Justin Rojas from Funimation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
check that out. I know a lot of you guys like that show. We liked it too.
It's so good.